They ain't had to, but for me, I got to. My shadow and myself on walls look like I'm not Squatty. Want me dead, I know they plot to. Trapped in this inferno, don't know the layers of hell I got through. I miss the days in my life when the sky was never not blue. Wish that I flew, they ain't know I knew. The times it took the fights inside, the times inside my home. I couldn't find a club. Thoughts inside my head that always seem to fuck my mood up. The ones that say you almost 30, you should've made it sooner. Nigga. Either my moment should've played it cool. It's better by me the less you know. I'm like Tetsuo. Hope after this life there ain't no hell that come after. You know my pain, it's like a skeletal fracture. Tell me I matter, I know that tone soft, I guess the rest they couldn't. I hope my nigga will keep them safe around no white women. How a kid that was filled with joy becomes such an empty man. I feel like guts with the blade. Them demons get my skin the brain. I'm on my own now, you let my soul down. No longer show face, I keep the brim down. Kill every showcase, they say he him now. The cross I'm nailed to, I was born hell-proof. My way your burdens tip the scale too. Storms I sail through, enough about the vessel. It's really all about the soul within. Like Gil Walker under moonlight. It's best I don't come home again.
Okay. That's the visuals from Carl. My main man, Seth Hassan. He was on here last week. I let him open up the show. Good colleague of mine, good friend of mine, man's family. You know, but I don't play the music because it's family. I play it because it's hot. And I'm all about the underground artists, the indie artists. I want them to get their shine because I know how it is trying to get out here and grind. You know what I mean? All right, let's get to it. Welcome to It's the Hype Real Podcast. I'm your boy, John B., better known as DJ Chill. Live Reaction Sunday. We come on here to talk about everything under the sun. But right now, since it's football season, we're going to talk about some of these here Cleveland Browns and then the rest of the NFL. Okay, first off, make sure you do your homework. 2 things. Like, subscribe, and enjoy. That's all one thing. It's just 3 orders under one thing. That's just the way it should go. And then 2, tell a friend to tell a friend. And then tell a friend to tell a friend. Now, we live every Thursday, 9 p.m. If we got to switch it up, make sure you follow us on all of our platforms. It's the Hype Real Podcast across the board. Just type it in. It'll pop up. And then you can subscribe, like, and enjoy. And make sure you tune in. All right? All right. So let's get straight to it. Today was a good day for them there Cleveland Browns. You see it in the background. Dog pound, baby, dog check. It was a good day just simply because we got a dub. We got a dub. Not only did we get a dub, we got a dub against the divisional opponent, and we got a dub against our hated divisional opponent in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Any day you win against a Pittsburgh Steelers fan is a good day. You know, we're doing our best to just play spoiler right now because right now they are fighting to try to win the division. And they're also fighting to try to lock in their playoff spot. And us beating them today left the door wide open for the Baltimore Ravens. And I would much rather see the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, let's talk about some of the game today. Some of the game today, it was mediocre, but I can't say mediocre is a bad thing because we're a bad team. We're just trying to get better. But I will say we played good against a team that's number 1 in our division, always known for defense, with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. Shedeur Sanders, I'm running my words together, showed flashes all across the game. He did very well. I was very proud of what they did. I do feel like they should have played better. We're missing a lot of pieces. A lot of the guys got hurt during the game. And when you're missing weapons, and we already don't have enough weapons, it makes it that much more difficult to be able to even do anything. He threw 486 yards, 17 to 23, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. One was off the top of the helmet. And the other one was just kind of blatant. It is what it is. The Browns beat my man Soldier Man just popped in. I got you in a minute, Soldier. The run game yet again was inept. It didn't look good. It doesn't look good. And we're supposed to be this ground and pound team. At least that's the way Coach Kevin wants us to be. My only good thing I can say about Coach Kevin that I've always said about him, and you can check the tape, is that he's very good at his opening script. His first 10 to 12 plays, absolutely top in the league. It's just after that, it falls off a cliff. His ability to make adjustments is a 0 out of 100. Once he gets past that opening script of 12 to 15 plays, all he does is know how to run the ball and try to do play action. He doesn't know how to counter what would be the team we go against. And that's what causes us to lose a lot. The defense showed up, they did great. They're quadruple teaming Myles Garrett so that way he didn't get that sack record because that's all they were worried about. But the defense looked good. They shut it down at the end. You know, I don't want to hear any complaints. Oh, the Steelers were missing DK Metcalf. That's for one, that's his fault. And for two, we were missing way more than that. And they always have the weapons. Shout out to the chat. Let's get into it. My man, Soldier Man, what up, Red? What up, Reg? He said, what up, bro? Does number 86 have footwork problems? We need a GoFundMe page for him. Save 60. Oh, number 6. Sorry, that's my dyslexia a little bit. Save 68. 68, was it 68 or was it 56? They both, the whole line was kind of pedestrian. We're horrible on O-line. We're down to our like fourth string guy at one of the guard positions. Everybody on there shouldn't be starting. And that's why I say the run game can't get anywhere because we're unable to guard anybody. We're unable to block anybody. We can't set up a scheme, whether it be zone or power, because it's patchwork. It's just patchwork of an offensive line against everybody going against their starters. And of course, you're not going to be able to do well against that. My main man Strong pulled up. He said, what about the next 60 plays? I agree. I do agree. I think he just needs to make like 10 opening scripts. And then that way, every time you get done with the first 10, you can treat the next 10 like as if you were an opening drive. But then the thing is, you try to quote unquote adjust. He played it very conservative. My inner circle says this all the time. Coach Kevin is a very conservative coach. He does not want to do anything that will put him against the wall, that'll make him look like he's making bad play calls. So they'll run the ball even when you're averaging 2.5 a carry. It was an ugly game. It was not very put together because you can't set up a play action if the run isn't moving, and you can't just throw the ball if you don't believe in your rookie quarterback who did do well. And the thing is, the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary is not scary. So you got to really be able to let it fly. You're 4-12 now. What are you waiting for? Isn't this the time that you open it up and see what happens? Me as a coach, I'm not winning. I'm about to open up the entire playbook and say, let's go for it. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we're any good. Let's see what we do well and what we don't do well. Let's not just sit here. They want to play for a win. I get it. But when you got 2 picks, sometimes you got to play for the future and just call it a day. Man, 2K King, why didn't Judkins play? Judkins is hurt. He is out. He'll be out for the rest of the season. He broke his fibula in his leg, and he tore up his ankle and some of his knee in the last game. So Judkins did not play, and he will not play for the rest of the foreseeable future. Hopefully we can get him back and we don't have another Nick Chubb epidemic where he is going to be just injury plagued, because he was balling all year. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were counting on him in some of their fantasy football playoffs and some of their bets because he was the engine. Even though his per yard carry is like 3.3 now, not even, he's still a very good, solid piece that we were missing. Again, Harold Fannin went out after scoring a touchdown. He re-aggravated a groin. Schlesinger is running around with one leg, and it's just really difficult. And I'm really surprised we were able to keep up where we were. Denzel Ward made a play against MVS, but MVS is not DK Metcalf. Shout out to my main man Deal for asking that question. Deal Pap, King K popped back up. He said, hopefully he'll be one of the greats. I don't know. That's the problem. He has all the potential. He balled out at Ohio State, helped them win a national championship. I think he even came back. But if we keep putting this pedestrian offensive line in front of him, there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that you're ever going to be able to be great in the Browns uniform. Now they want to blame Shador so bad, but he was 17 to 23, 186. And what it is when you, I don't care what team you're on, if nobody's blocking for you, then it's irrelevant. The NFL games are won in the trenches. They're not won because somebody has better weapons. Ask the Bengals. The Bengals have some of the best weapons in football. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in football. But if you can't protect your quarterback and you can't run the ball, then you can't win NFL football games. And that's just the name of the game. I got this Fannin highlight on deck. I want to show you this real quick because Fannin is absolutely amazing. And I got you a strong. I see you jumped in the chat. I want to talk about Harold Fannin because I believe with these weapons that we got, they're going to be absolutely amazing. Let's play this from the top. I'm gonna mute it so that way they don't ban me. So easy. Wow. See, this is that first drive. That wasn't even a great throw, but it was a great play. And then it'll be a great. And instantly he grabs the groin. Look at the ball come out. That's one of the uglier balls, pause, that I've seen my main man Shador ever throw. But it worked. You know, it's wet out there. It's sloppy. You know, but that's what I mean about him being a talent. And if he was out there, I believe that the team would have did a hell of a better job at being able to adjust. Judy finally stepped up and decided he wanted to actually be an NFL football player, and then decides to just keep moving from there. My main man Strong tapped back in. He said, Bake has thrown his 100th interception. See, why we still talking about Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield is gone. He's living his best life, and he still has a chance to win his division next week because the Panthers lost. So it's going to be the Panthers versus the Buccaneers for the division title, just like us beating the Steelers allowed it to be the Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers for their divisional title. So I'm just saying, Baker didn't have his whole entire team for the whole year. So I can't get mad at him. He's just getting guys back. And sometimes I get it. He has that gunslinger type vibe, and it'll shoot you in the foot. Shout out to the Jaguars. People hated on the Jaguars. They just won. I believe they might have clinched their division. They definitely clinched their playoff spot for sure. Let's look at it. The Jaguars were 100% locked into the playoffs, and they had an 85% chance of winning their division. So I think with this win, they might have won their division. I might have do my Carfax on that. Shout out to my main man, Red Soldier Man. Pull back up. He said, I'm going to put this is a long one. I'm going to read it. I'm going to turn it off so stay up there. After the first drive, he needs to look at what worked and call variations of that. He also needs to set up what worked and the opposite of such. Absolutely agree. But I don't think he has that capacity to do so. Coach Kevin is a system quarterback, and once he gets his first set of plays done, he goes back to what the system says to do. He's heavy on analytics. He's not really a football guy. He's a leader of men and an analytic guy, which is him trying to get people to be on the path of his system. He leads them to his system, and then he picks analytic plays. Like a lot of those fourth downs, me having a trash record, I probably would have went for it. I mean, we won the game, but it's like, why not? Let's get out here and let's get spicy. My main man Reg pulled back up. He said, he didn't throw too many tight spirals, balls that all game. Weather, I give you that. The weather in Cleveland, it being rainy, it being lightweight cold, it being wet. They say it's great football weather, but the football is heavier. The football is bigger in the pros than it is in college. So I'm not making excuses. That's just my reasoning behind why the spirals weren't tight. And then when you're under pressure, 85% of the time, you can't really plant your feet and throw the ball downfield, but he made some great throws. I just wonder if the circumstances were different and he had somebody who was actually blocking for him, i.e. a Jalen Hurts. If you put Jalen Hurts behind the Cleveland Browns line, he looks worse than what he already does. And most people think he's not a good quarterback. I think he's top 12 in the league. My main man Jay pulled up. He said facts. Because after the first quarter, we always look bad. Coach never gets off script. Ever. He never, ever gets off script. It's the same thing. He tries to run the ball up the middle, tries to pick up 2 or 3 yards. Run the ball up the middle again, try to pick up 2 or 3 yards. And on third down, make it a manageable third down. It's 3rd and third and 4, third and 3. Now we can try to psych them with a quick, slant or a dump off to the flat. He never really wants to push the ball downfield. Appreciate the comment, Jay. I absolutely agree with that. His ability to change up what's going on for the game. And the thing is, they didn't have their best defender out there in T.J. Watt because he's out with, he just had surgery because he had a lung issue, and he's not even out there. They got Alex Highsmith out there looking like the second coming of Lawrence Taylor. My man Strong pulled right back up to the chat. He said, Kevin said, I got these 5 hot plays sooner than later. Something going to give. Hey, he got the Remember the Titans playbook where it was like this thin, and he had like 7 veers. He said it's like Novocaine. They all work. Just give them time. Not on the NFL level. It can't. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. There's no way you can tell me you run in any game the same 4 or 5, unless the team is trash. And Pittsburgh's trying to lock up a dub and win the division. That's why on that last drive, Aaron Rodgers came out, and he probably wasn't even listening to his offensive coordinator. He came out and was tearing us apart on defense, more so than he had the whole game. I don't think the offensive coordinator called one play on that last drive. That was all Aaron Rodgers calling plays from the playbook that he thought would work, and he was cooking. We almost lost because of that. Just keep that in mind. My main man, Soldier Man, popped back up. He said, some throws he put too much touch on. One interception would have been if he fired into dude's chest. Yeah. That's fair. I'm not sitting here saying Shedeur played an amazing game. Again, I say he didn't do the best that I feel like he could have. He left something out. He left a lot out there. But again, when you're running for your life, 17 to 23, 186, averaging 8 yards a throw, that's not the worst game ever. They would almost call it. They would call that a game manager. When Brock Purdy's doing that and he has 2 more touchdowns, everybody screaming for Brock Purdy is the best damn quarterback in the league. Just saying. Strong pulled back up. He said Cleveland and the Panthers run the same offense. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to look at the tape and see if we run the same offense. But they got better weapons in Carolina at the wide receiver, tight end, and running back now that Judkins down. And they got a better line. So if they do run the same offense, we see what it could be because the Panthers over there winning. Just saying. Jay Boogie, what's up, Jay? My man pulled up. He said, and his coaching was working when we had Nick Chubb. Without him running in the system, it don't work. That's what I'm saying. He's a system coach. He's not a football guy who can just figure it out on the fly. He's not going to be able to make hella adjustments. You know who makes great adjustments? The Buffalo Bills. In the second half, they are the best second half team in football because they figure out, all right, this ain't working. Let's figure out something else. Let's dig deep into the playbook and see what else we can pull out to make work. You know who else is a good second half team when they were balling out? The Kansas City Chiefs. They're pretty good at figuring out in the second half. They're very good at that, actually. So it's just more so to me, how are you going to figure out what works best? The 49ers are really good as a second half team. We don't have that intangible as a coach. Our coordinator is fresh out of college. Our defensive coordinator is doing everything in his power to try to keep us afloat. And he won this game for us flat out. And it's just that simple. The defense hasn't been the problem all year. They fell off on a couple of games, but not really. So the issue here is we got to get O-line. We got to get weapons on the outside. I believe Judkins can do well. I think even Raheem Rocket Morris can do well if given an offensive line. We need to go out there and do what the Bears did and pick up 2 guards and then draft somebody out of the draft from college to fill these holes. We need depth because obviously the guys we got aren't functioning on 100% durability anymore. So we got to let the pass be the pass. We can't just keep paying these guys because we love them. We got to make shit happen. My main man said, he already put that up there, that he ran the same offense. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at it. I'm really going to have to look at it and see what's going on. So all in all, it's a good game. And right now we're just moral victories, unfortunately, yet again. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about these Browns because the defense is great and the offense is pedestrian. But I see flashes in Shador. I do think that given the right tools, he can be a franchise quarterback. And I would really hate for us to go into this NFL draft and draft a quarterback just because we do not believe he's the guy for whatever reason. My main man Jay pulled back up. He said, "You think Miles gonna get the record against the Bengals? Absolutely, absolutely." On the offensive line side, they're more of a dumpster fire than we are. They can put 2, 3 guys on him, and he's still going to get there because Joe's going to hold on to the ball and try to make a play. Aaron Rodgers made it his business not to get sacked by anybody today, just in case it was Myles Garrett. He said it. I'm not going to be the guy that gives him the record. I think Myles gets 2 sacks next week in a meaningless game, unfortunately, because the Bengals don't really matter and the Browns don't really matter. It's just that simple. We both stink. But Joe was hurt and we didn't have a quarterback. So whoopity do. We gonna get that'll be the best. They won today, 37-14. I mean, they beat the Cardinals. I'm not impressed. The Cardinals haven't been good all year, and they lost 4 games straight with a difference of 5 points. They lost 4 games by a collective of 5 points. That means 1 score game every time. They lost by either a field goal, a last minute this, last minute that. So they're 6-10. Joe Burrow balled out today, 305-2. So I think next week against them, Myles gets the record. If not, it's gonna be crazy work. My main man E pulled up. What up, Eric? He said Myles will get 3 sacks next week to reach 25. You know what? We need that. We didn't pay this man all his money. The best thing we can do is get that record to say, hey, we had one of the best defensive ends in NFL history. The sad part is we probably might not ever deliver him a Super Bowl, but we had one of the best defensive ends in NFL history. And what more can you ask for that? My main man E said, I'm standing on that. You got to put the bet in, put that on DraftKings. My main man E said he's standing on Myles Garrett to get 3 sacks next week. That's a bet for you right there. 3 sacks. I'm gonna look that up and see when the week comes around and see what the actual payout will be to get 3 sacks by Myles Garrett. I'm interested. I hope he gets the record. We need some saving grace. We definitely need some saving grace. My main man, Soldier Man, pulled back up. What up, bro? He said Rodgers did not want the history book built. Oh, bullet. I got you. He did everything within reason to make sure that didn't happen. He did. He did not want to have that picture of when they showed the history of the most sacks in a single season, they see him going like this and getting sacked. He did not want that to be on his resume because this year has been one of his better years since he's been traded from Green Bay. He's led his team to pretty much the playoffs, and he's basically in a win or go home. The playoffs start next week for Aaron Rodgers and the Ravens. It's win or go home. After what Derrick Henry did last week, they got an uphill battle. I mean, just last night, he scored like 4 touchdowns. He was balling out like 200 yards. He was crazy. My main man said, E, don't stand too hard on. I know what he meant to say. He meant to say, don't stand too hard on that. Pause. I know what y'all mean. He's saying there's no way that he's going to, don't get too comfortable saying he's going to get them 3 sacks. That's what I said. It's a hell of a bet. I think it's going to be like plus 250 on him getting 3 sacks next week. So that's a good bet. But it could definitely happen. He said, hey, I just hope he gets to 1, possibly 2 to get the record and then clear it. That would be absolutely amazing. We need that here in Cleveland. So we go get around the rest of the NFL. I hope everybody's doing well in fantasy football. I'm out in almost all of mine. I got my family league that I'm in, that I'm currently in the championship. I take it serious no matter what league it is because I always want to win. I take losing really hard. I'll admit it. I'm not a sore loser. I just hate to lose. It is what it is. Okay, so let's look at some finals around the league. The Bengals beat the Cardinals. Whoopity-doo. The Browns beat the Steelers. That's the upset central. The Saints beat the Titans. The Saints have been on somewhat of a roll. They've looked good. I didn't think Tyler Shough was going to be good at all. He started off slow. He looked bad on every tape that they put out there from college. He's like 28 years old. But he threw today for 333 yards and 2 touchdowns. Talk about a sleeper. The Bucks lost to the Dolphins. They're both 7-9. The Dolphins are out of it, but the Bucks still have a chance. And Strong, you want to hate on Baker. Baker threw for 346 and 2 touchdowns. Them not that's not unclutch. It's just the Dolphins are good on offense. Like my main man Ray said, if they had a better quarterback, they put up 20 with Ewers. I want to see what he did. You know, the kid from Texas. So with Ewers out there, he went 14 for 22, 172 yards. It ain't like he balled out either, but he had 2 touchdowns. I don't know if Tua was ever doing that. So shout out to my main man Ray, my main man 623 AM, who co-hosts every Thursday 9 p.m. Shameless plug, and he said that the Dolphins are really a quarterback away from being a great team. So how many picks? Okay, that's what you asked me. How many picks did Ewers have? I could check for you. I could check right now. You know I'm all about the stats. Let's see. Ewers had 0 picks. 0 picks. You know, I can't get mad at that. While Baker had 2. That's what you're saying. Baker had 2 picks. But that's why he's a gunslinger. I can't get mad at him because I know what to expect. Obviously, he was trying to win the game. They only ran the ball 16 times, and 3 of them was from Baker. Bucky only ran 2.1 a carry. He had 9 carries for 19 yards. The run game was inept. So he had to put the team on his back. We want to talk about how many picks. You know what I mean? He threw 7 receptions for 114 to McMillan, 7 for 108 to Godwin. That's baller status. Baker. It is. It's Baker. That's what he does. He's go hard or go home. Always has been, always will be. He's either going to score a lot or he's going to turn the ball over a lot. That's just his gameplay. My main man Soldier Man popped back in. He said, should the Ravens and their fans pipe down a bit since we just did them a solid, asking for a friend? I think that the Ravens are ecstatic that they even have an opportunity the way they played all season. And they definitely, if not, they should humble themselves a little bit. Because if they go out there next week and the Ravens lose after the Browns just beat the team that they're going against, I don't want to hear, oh, we don't have Lamar. Oh, we don't have such and such and such. We the Browns. The Browns just beat the Steelers, the #1 league in the AFC North, which people say is one of the toughest divisions in football. I don't want to hear it. Y'all in the same division. Y'all say division games are tough. Let's see what happens. I think y'all might even be home. So as a Ravens fan, if you don't beat the Pittsburgh Steelers next week with much more talent than the Cleveland Browns, y'all suck. You're welcome. You're welcome for an opportunity because y'all on your own merits did not put yourself in a position to be battling for this #1 seed in the AFC North. Truth be told, if the AFC North wasn't such a trash division this year, you wouldn't have a chance anyway. Say, imagine if Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt. The Bengals probably win 10, 11 games. Maybe not with that defense, but you never know. Maybe, what if you put Shador in game 4 instead of game 10? You never know. So, yes, they need to pipe down. Now, what Kendrick say? Be humble. The wifey say, me humble. She never knows what the words are. That's not a knock. That's just the way it is. Well, my man E popped back in and said, Baker has not missed the playoffs since he got in Tampa. I don't think that changes this year. I don't think so either. That'll be a great game. A division game for the division title, that's what makes football interesting. So you either win or go home. The playoffs have already started. So Bryce Young, this is your chance to really step up and step out. Amanda pull up. Hey, fellas, what up, Amanda? What's going on? Appreciate you pulling up, showing out. Oh, yeah, you know how we do it. Cleveland till we die. We got a big dub today. We was talking about how even though the defense did well, Coach Kevin is only good at his opening drive script. And after that, he has no ability to switch up and fix what's going on. What you think, Amanda? My main man E pulled back up. Y'all in the chat today, y'all going crazy. I love it. My main man Eric said, Steelers won't have DK next week either. So that's true. Y'all got no excuses. No DK. You know, they probably won't have TJ Watt. He's not healthy. He had like a deflated, he had a punctured lung, and they had to go in there and do surgery on this man's lung. He ain't practiced in like 3 games, so I highly doubt that he's gonna go out there next week and just show up all of a sudden. If y'all don't win, Ravens, y'all suck this year. Maybe next year you'll be better, but I'll say it, you suck because the Browns just beat them, and we got a bunch of rookies out there figuring it out. My main man Soldier Man pulled back up. What would their record be if he played all year? If Shedeur played all year, that is a very good question. If Shedeur played all year long, let's see, the Browns are 4-12. In my opinion, if Shedeur had to jump start from the word go, we probably would have easily. We should be 5-11 because we should have won the Titans game. So I'll add that as a dub. How can that we lost? So we're going hypothetical. I say we are in the fight almost for the number 1 seed. Think about it. The Steelers are 9-7. The Ravens are 8-6. We win. If we would have won against the Titans and won 2 or 3 more games, we're 7-9, 8, you know what I mean? Something like, we're right in the thick of it because the division was trash this year. I think that would have gave him more time to develop. It'd have been a hell of a better opportunity than with Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. That's just the facts. So yes, I think we would be, honestly, not even being a fanboy, we would probably be sub 500. We'd probably be 1 game under 500, but in the hunt, at least for our division. That would be my guess. My main man Strong pulled back up. He said, Baker is going home. I don't think so. I do not think so. I think Baker is going to be able to do enough with a healthy squad to be able to pull it off. Like I said, it's a division game. Division games are always played tough. Now, I don't knock the Panthers. I don't think they're just going to be an easy out. But I definitely do not feel as though they're just going to come out there and dominate the Buccaneers. If the Panthers win, they're going to win by like 3 points, a field goal, a game-winning field goal off a drive like that. And who's home? That's another key factor. Are the Buccaneers home? The Buccaneers are not home. See, that's what's going to make it a game, having to go to North Carolina and face the Panthers. But the Panthers just got their nose wiped too. Don't act like they were just out there balling. They did not do well. They did horrible today. They should have. If they was that good, they would have went ahead and locked it up. So it's not just Baker. Bryce Young ain't good either. So it should be a good barn burner of a game. Soldier Man pullback. Y'all firing off crazy. Soldier Man pullback. DK let his emotions get the best of him. He always does. He was an emotional basket case in Seattle. That was his problem. That's why he got sent away. They didn't want to pay him because he's a head case. And why would you want to pay a head case when you got the best receiver in football, arguably, in Jackson Smith and Jigba? You're going to mess up the morale of the team. If DK is on the team right now with Seattle, they're not the number 1 seed. He's a diva. He's a prima donna. He is the old school wide receiver who thinks he should get the ball a la A.J. Brown, a la Chad Ochocinco. I love that word a la. I made it up. It don't even really make no sense. It's like more so just like similar, kind of like. That's the word we're going to use on here. But he would not let that team be great if they were winning the way they were winning with Sam Darnold at the helm. Sam Darnold will have to force him the ball to shut him up, just like Jalen Hurts has to force A.J. Brown the ball. All right. Keep the questions coming. Says should have won against the Bengals in week 1 and the Titans and a few others. That's what I'm saying. If we had competent quarterback play the entire season, like I believe Shedeur is a competent quarterback. We're missing some pieces. The O-line is down, but the defense is so amazing that imagine if we'd had Judkins the whole year. Everybody forgets because he came in and he did really well, but when he was suspended. He was out due to that whole case that he was dealing with. And hopefully next year that doesn't come and bite him in the backside because all of a sudden they say, well, we let you play that one out, but we still need 3-4 games from you. So that'd be just yet another the Browns being the Browns moment right there. Hopefully that's not the case, because if that's the case, we wasted his season, and him being hurt doesn't count as being out. So if he comes back and he's eligible to return not until week 4 and they slap him with a suspension, that means he probably won't be back to about week 6, 7, or 8. My main man Eric pulled back up. He said, we'd definitely be 7-9. Definitely would have beaten the brakes off the Bengals week 1 and the Jets and the Titans wouldn't have stood a chance. I agree. I agree, my good man. I agree. You put Shador out there week 1 and let him ride. You let him go out there and do what he does best. We are definitely in a better position than we are. We're fighting for the number 1 seed in the AFC North. So this, again, goes back to coaching. Why wouldn't you put the person out there who gives you the best opportunity to win a game in the game? Because as soon as Judkins came back, no practice, no training camp, no nothing, instant starter. Okay. So you had somebody who was there all training camp, all off season. Yeah, he practiced with the second and third teams, but he was there. So to me, that lets me know it's something deeper than just the belief in this young man. And my whole question is, you let him throw the ball 30-something times against the Titans, but then you keep him in the 20 range every other time. Let it fly. Open up the offense. The thing is, with our offense is so stagnant because after that first series and a half, maybe 2 series, there's no switches on the coaching. It's over with. So I look at teams like the Bears. The Bears, to me, are not the biggest shocker in football. It's just that they finally got a coach that's willing to put the players in the best position instead of running a system that fits best. Now, it's under the umbrella of his system, but if he see it ain't working, like he did see it wasn't working in the beginning, he totally switched it up and then they became a running team. He tried to put it on the shoulders of Caleb Williams, and it didn't work out. But once they switched up their whole mentality of how we going to go about winning football, they are now 11-4 and fighting for the number 1 seed in the NFC. Caleb Williams looks like a number 1 pick. He's got 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's learned to limit his turnovers and just use his arm that's spectacular when need be and rely on a running game and the defense that is quietly got the most turnovers in the NFL. The Chicago Bears have produced the most turnovers in the NFL. They got like 3 of them against us, but before us, they were still leading the league in NFL turnovers. And that's all from what? Coaching. Ben Johnson comes in, he installs 3 people into the center, the left guard, the right guard, and abracadabra, all of a sudden, they are a top team in the NFL. They ain't changed too much, but the line, they drafted a tight end, Loveland, in the first round, and they drafted Monangai later from Rutgers in like the 7th round. They didn't change too much. They had all the talent they already had. Let's keep it real. Chat going crazy. My main man Strong says 6 games at the most. Kevin playbook is a C factor, bro. It's not. I don't even think it's his playbook. It's his play calling. It's definitely the play calling. The play calling is subpar. Thought I had something to drink. I do. Yeah, I give it a C plus. I give it a C plus. It would probably be a B plus if he had all the people that fit his system. So you say 6 games, but 6 games still, that will put us still, that would have put us still in somewhat of a fighting position because, games can go either way. My main man Rich pulled up. He said, I have a feeling that Sanders will really excel when he is at least in the hunt in playoff time with the rest of the Sharks. He's a big game guy. He's a big game hunter. Right now, I believe they got a throttle on this kid. Just like they do, they got a governor on him. You can only go this fast, Shador. Don't go too fast, Shador. Don't throw the ball too much, Shador. Don't try to make a play, Shador. Throw the ball away, Shador. Instead of push that mother lover down the field and let's see what's happening. We're 4-12. What's the worst that can happen? We go 3-13? Oh well, we're not going to the playoffs. It's over. Let's at least open it up and see what happens. I mean, Strong said Kevin playbook is the team killer. I don't think it's the playbook. I think it's the play call, and I think it's the offensive line. And we definitely need another weapon as far as receiver. We need somebody else other than Fannin. He was overused, and I think that's why he started to break down, just like the defense started to break down as the season went on. Because simple as this, if you're out there and you're the only one that's getting hit, taking plays, making plays, you're not going to be fresh. You're just not, unless you're just an injury-prone player. So, I don't think it's the playbook. I think it's the play calling, and that's what's always going to hinder us. All right. Any more questions? Any more thoughts? Please keep on tapping in. It's the Hyper Real Podcast. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and enjoy. We talking about these Cleveland Browns. We getting into basketball season. It was crazy, the Cavs. Hopefully they make a move during the trading season. And shout out your favorite team if you're in the chat. All right, let's get to the rest of these games. So yeah, the Buccaneers lost to the Dolphins. That's where we're at. So let's go down to the best quarterback in football, in my opinion, in Drake May. Drake May, and we're not talking about the past last year. We're not talking about a body of work. We're not talking about next year. We're talking about this year. I don't give a care about a schedule. I don't care about none of that. I'm talking about what he has been doing in the NFL this whole year. Drake May is the best quarterback in football this year. Name me a quarterback that's better than Drake May this year. Drop it in the chat. Who's better than Drake May this year? I don't think there anybody is, especially on the ground and in the air. Again, he's 19 for 21, 256 yards, 5 touchdowns. I'm just saying, he's balling. Yes, against the Jets, but you're supposed to beat up on teams that you're supposed to beat up on. That's what makes you good. Good teams don't struggle against teams they're supposed to beat. They take advantage of them and pat their stats. That's just the name of the game. Just like the Seahawks took advantage of the Panthers. The Panthers aren't great, but the Seahawks are really good. So they patted their stats against the Panthers. That's the way it's supposed to go. Same thing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a good team, not a great team, but the Commanders aren't good at all, especially without Jaden Daniels. So they took care of business. Now, the only one that threw me for a loop this week was the Vikings beating the Lions. The Lions, I think, have given up. As much as Dan Campbell wants to say they're going to fight through, they're going to scratch eyes and bite kneecaps. Nah, y'all eliminated from the playoffs, so y'all not playing for real. Y'all not playing serious. It might be over with. The window might be closing. And ever since y'all lost your coordinator to the Chicago Bears, y'all have been sliding downhill. Look at the Bears. Look at the Lions. It's a total flip. They have a couple games where they go crazy, but that's because they have the talent. But as far as the play calling and the whole overall scheme, it's not clicking like it was when Ben Johnson was there. But you go look at the Bears, and they're absolutely amazing. Their scheme, amazing. It's almost the same talent gap when it comes to quarterback. Even it might even be a better quarterback arm talent-wise with Caleb Williams. I'm just saying. All right. So the Broncos beat the Chiefs. Again, I say, a team that is good should take advantage of a bad team. The Chiefs are bad. They really should have shellacked them, but it is what it is. In a division game. I always say division games are scary. Now, the Texans beat the Chargers. The Chargers have been sliding, and even though they've looked bad, they're still 11-5. They're 11-5. The Texans are now 11-5, and the front runner to win the AFC South. They're battling with the Jaguars. So we're gonna see how that works out. The Ravens pummeled the Green Bay Packers, but again, right now the Green Bay Packers are a bad team because they don't have Jordan Love. Jacobs is hurt. I don't care what the names on the roster are. If they're not up to par or in the game, they're going to be a bad team. Just that simple. Micah Parsons out for the year. So that's what I mean about teams doing what they need to do. And the Ravens are a better team because Derrick Henry ran for 216 yards and 4 touchdowns. They said, all right, we got Snoop Huntley back here. Let's just hand the ball off to King Henry. If we're going to lose, we're going to lose because of King Henry. And that put them in a position to win the AFC North. So now it's a playoff game next week for them and the Steelers. And last but not least, we're going to have the Rams and the Falcons tonight. The Rams are going to smash the Falcons. Again, I say a good team going against a bad team has to take advantage. You have to make a statement. You have to get the points. My main man, Eric, popped back in. He said, MVP, Drake May, indeed. You know, I agree. There's no way in hell Drake May should not be the MVP of the league. He's been better than Matt Stafford. He's been better than what's his name? Bo Nix. He's been better than Dak Prescott. He's been better than Caleb Williams. He's been better than I'm just losing names here. Joe Burrow. He's been better than Brock Purdy. He's been better than Jalen Hurts. You know, it's just that simple. He right now is the best quarterback in football, and he is carrying his team to, you know, try to acquire a 1 seed. You know, he went head to head with the former MVP of last year in Josh Allen and showed up and did a hell of a game. They even had the lead, but it slipped out of their fingers. So I think Drake May is the best quarterback in football. You know, let's do a summary recap of the show. Drake May, best quarterback in football, should be MVP of the league. You know, turned around a team who didn't even make the playoffs to one of the top tier teams. I think coaching matters, i.e. Chicago getting Ben Johnson and even New England getting Vrabel, who's a great coach, was a great coach in Tennessee. So maybe we need to oust Coach Kevin and bring in a great coach, and maybe that'll allow us to be better. Who knows? I think the Browns are a few pieces away. You know what I mean? And they say, oh, maybe next year. But I think we are literally and could possibly be a few players away from being competitive. We need an outside weapon that ain't Jared Jeudy. It ain't him. Maybe we need to go get Carnell Tate from Ohio State. Maybe we need to get one of these big body receivers who can actually catch. Because Jared Jeudy led the league in drops. And a lot of those were for key possessions. Now, I ain't going to say those all perfect passes, but I will say they were all dropped by Jared Jeudy. Okay? So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to let y'all ride out to my main man, Seth Assign, one more time. Make sure y'all tap in, show up, show out to Is the Hype Real podcast every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And make sure y'all show up and show out because we're trying to build over here. You know, it's the Hype Real gang. We're doing good. Today we had a lot of people tap in, and that's what it's all about to me, man. We got to keep tapping in. We got to keep showing love. If y'all got any questions or stuff y'all want to talk about, make sure y'all tap in to Is the Hype Real podcast at gmail.com. I'm always open to bring things to the table. Shout out to my co-conspirators in this whole Is the Hype Real game. My main man Bands the Bully, my main man Keon 8, big homie Kyle from Warner Brothers podcast, and my big bruh, my big little bruh, Ray, aka 623 AM. So make sure y'all do your homework, like, subscribe, and enjoy. Like I said, we're gonna ride out to my main man Self Assign. He got a song called Carl, and it's been booming here on the internet. I really want y'all to check it out. And until the next time, like I always say, and I always will say, be good or be good at it. All right. Let's do it.
They had to, but to me, I got to. My shadow and myself on walls are like I'm not Skywatsu. Want me dead, I know they plot to. Trapped in this inferno, don't know the layers of hell I got through. I miss the days of my life when the sky was never not blue. Wish that I flew, they ain't know I knew. The times it took, the fights inside, the times inside my home. I couldn't find a club. Thoughts inside my head that always seem to fuck my mood up. The ones that say you almost 30, you should have made it sooner. Nigga. Either my moment should have played it cooler. It's better by me the less you know. I'm like Tetsuo. Hope after this life there ain't no hell that come after. You know my pain, it's like a skeletal fracture. Tell me I matter, I know that tone saw, I guess the rest they couldn't. I hope my nigga will keep them safe around them white women. How a kid that was filled with joy becomes such an empty man. I feel like guts with the blade. Them demons gave my skin the brain. I'm on my own now. You let my soul down. No longer show face. I keep the brim down. Kill every showcase. They say he hand now. The cross I'm nailed to. I was born hell-proof. My way your burdens tip the scale to. Storms I sail through. Enough about the vessel. It's really all about the soul within. Like you walking under moonlight. It's best I don't come home again.